Hey everybody, it's Robin Scherzer with Robin Stampin Hood, and welcome to Therapy Thursday. Oh, we're just going to sit back a second and wait for people. So, let's see, what's going on here? Yes, I want to tell you that I have one spot left for my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack tomorrow. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of two of the cards we're going to do. So this is the first one. And I know I have it in cellophane, so I want to make sure you can see it. So that's the first one we're going to do. Hey, Kathy. And then here is the second one that we're going to do. And the third one is a surprise. So if you are local to me, I do have one spot left. If you are not local to me, you can still purchase the supplies for it. You just need to provide the stamp set, ink, the dies, all that kind of fun stuff. And I will ship that to you for a charge of $5. So like I said, I do have one kit left if anyone is interested. And like I said, the third card will be a surprise. All right, so this is going to be pretty quick. I've been working in my studio all day, getting out packages to some of my team members. Kathy, you'll get one in a couple days for on stage at home. So I'm excited that you guys have signed up for it, those of you that are demonstrators with me. So I sent out little care packages to everybody that couldn't be with me. All right, so I want to show you guys again this Meandering Meadow. I just love it. So this is what we did on Monday, the kind of the landscape card, and I wanted to go back to that paper because I love it so much. And now it's live, and you can get it in the online exclusive. So you're gonna want it. So when I was showing you on Monday, you know, it's kind of like Monet. It's that watercolory. It's beautiful. And like I said, I love that they have the neutrals on the other side. So yeah, you guys, I love it. It's beautiful. And I don't want to cover it up. So I came up with another card that utilizes this paper. So you can actually see the scenes in it. So you ready for that? I'm going to show you my sample, but we're going to make another one. So it's one of those stair step cards. Now it's hard to show you because you're looking that way and my camera's that way. But you know, it's one of those that when you set down, right? And then you have the inside. So isn't that fun? I love like the 3D of it, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna do this really quick, but we're gonna do a different scene. So I decided I would do this scene. And what you want to do is figure out your focal point. So I kind of want to focus in on like the meadow and the water. So we're going to do a little trimming of this paper first. And we'll actually, so you're going to kind of play with it a little bit because you have about 2 inches or so. That's your focal point here. So I want to make sure that I'm capturing that focal point. So actually what I'm going to do first is cut this down to 4 3/8. So we have 1, 2, 3. So that might be too much. So I'm going to just take off about a 1/2 inch on this side. And then I'm going to go back over to this side. 1, 2, 3/8. Yeah, because I wanted to make sure I had the water. All right, so we're going to take that off. So that's kind of our scene. And now we're just going to kind of play with, so there's no exact way to do this other than pick your focal point. What's your focal point? And like I said, mine's going to be the gone away there for a second. Okay, this piece, the only thing I can really tell you is this piece needs to measure 4 3/8 by 2 1/4. Okay, but you got to kind of play with what you want as your focal point. Okay, so now I'm going to take these other pieces because it was cut like this, right? So I need side pieces. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to cut this down to just 1 inch. Okay, and I'm going to put that away so that fits right there at 1 inch. And then I'm going to do this one at 1 inch as well. Now the only difference on this is it's going to probably be a little too long. So I'm going to cut off, I think I'll cut off the top because it should be, 1 inch by 4 1/4. So I think I'm going to just cut off some of the white at the top and then do the same for over here. So that's 4 1/4. All right. All right. So then my pieces, do I have them backwards? Probably. So my pieces should be like that. Okay. So those are a little shorter. That's my focal point, and these are going to be my 2 side pieces. So I'm just going to put this off to the side because now we need to do our other pieces. So I chose garden green, and you're just going to cut it at 4 1/4 portrait, okay? And then we're going to turn it and score it. Well, let me open up my scoring blade. And I know some of you guys are going, are you going to put these measurements down? I might. Okay, so this is cut at 4 1/4, and we're going to score it at 1 inch, 2 inches, and 6 1/2 inches. Oops, that was 6 3/4. 6 1/2. Okay, so 1 inch, 2 inch, and 6 1/2. So that's our first piece. Now I'm going to take this other piece that we cut, and I'm going to cut this down to, oops, I still needed that open. We're going to cut that down to 8 1/2. 8 1/2 by 2 1/2. Okay. And then we are going to score it horizontally or hot dog-ish at 3 inches. And that's it. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these pieces that I cut for my bottom. And I think what I'm going to use is probably the back side of that paper. So the bottom of the base would be 4 inches. So again, I'm just using the back side, 4 inches by 3 1/4. So that's my 3 1/4. So that's going to be on the bottom of the card. Okay. I think that is, we are done scoring and cutting. All right, so let's put it together, shall we? All right, so this piece, this was the 4 1/4 by 4 or by 11, and we scored it at 1 inch, 2 inch, and 6 1/2 inch. So 1 inch, 2 inch, and 6 1/2. So this is the base of our card. So that's what's going to sit like that. So I just want to give it a good burnish right now. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is take my side pieces. Before I put it all together, I want to get my pieces put down. So our side pieces are going to go just right here on the sides. And you want to kind of frame it out. You know how I always talk about framing out things. So you just want that, you can see my garden green just around the edges. I just want to make sure it's laying down right. And I do have it the right way, right? Yes, okay. I want to make sure that. So let's go ahead. I think I might be out of glue. We're going to glue her down. Before you assemble the card, it's easier just to do it this way. And I don't know what this is called. I think it's called just a one-step card or a step card. I don't know. Can't keep up with all those newfangled things. Again, I like this to showcase the actual paper. You know, it's so pretty and I hate to cover it up. So this is another nice way to use all of it. Okay, so we're just gonna set that aside for a second. And then we're gonna take the other piece, the smaller piece that we did, and we're gonna put our focal point on it. So I want you to mount it toward the top. And again, we're just gonna kind of frame it out so it has a nice even frame around it. Make sure you don't put it on upside down. I think that's good, nice and framed. We'll just let it sit for a second. So now we want to go ahead and put the card together because we have our pieces glued that we need to have glued. So again, this piece is your base, and this piece is actually going to sit on top like this. So what I would recommend is, again, you want to kind of put it down. It's covering, you can see it kind of overlaps, and that's what it should do. But what I'm going to use, because this is a card that's going to be pulled a lot, is I'm going to use my tear tape. And as you know, my tear tape is not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to put two pieces at the very bottom. Let me put my glue back together here. And I thought I had a poker around here somewhere. There it is. And we're gonna pull this off. And let's go ahead and I'm just eyeballing it right in the center. And I'm bringing this right down to the edge of the card. Okay, so it's right there. So now this is where this piece will go, is right across the bottom. Now you could tie a ribbon around the bottom, but I'm gonna use up the scraps instead, right? Because we need to use up all these scraps. Now, if I were thinking clearly when I cut the paper, what I could have done, so this was the bottom of the paper, I could have used that instead of the back side, and that would have fit perfectly in there. And that's kind of what I did with this one. I took the bottom of the paper because you can see where the path kind of continues there. So you can do that too. All right, so there's the front part of the card. So now what you want to do is make sure your card's all flat, and this is going to fold over to the back. So we're just going to take our tear tape again. Again, this card is going to be pulled on, and people are going to be fussing over it, saying, oh my gosh, that card is so awesome. So you want to make sure that it's going to stay together. So that's why I like the sticky strip or the tear tape. Okay, so again, I want to make sure it's folded flat. So when I fold this over, it's gonna do what it has to do. So look at how easy peasy is that, right? So let's do a little bit of embellishing on it. We'll put a little sentiment on it. Now you can do an inside, which I'm going to do. And this piece is just a white piece of 4 by 4 1/4. So, and again, it's just going to go on the inside of the card, so you can write your little message or stamp your little message on there as well. So I'm going to go do that. And then, you know what? I'm going to use up some more of that scrap, I think, because we have a lot of that scrap left, right? So let's see. Can we put it across there? Yep, let's grab the cutter, and I think that's the 4-inch side, right? No? Yes? Yeah, that's the 4-inch side. So just cut that down a little bit. And we'll put this across here. Kind of match everything up. Beauteous, right? Okay. So then I'm going to go to my trusty old, and what I've told you guys a million times you should have in your arsenal is the go-to greetings. And I'm just going to use the little hello that's in there. And I am going to stamp in Garden Green. But I think I'm going to do it backwards than my sample. Okay. Get that out of the way so I don't put my hand in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and do a little flaggy flag. Is that what you call them? I don't know. Gonna do that. But then I'm gonna lay it down on this side right here. We're gonna go ahead and use a dimensional for that. Oops. Make sure it's all the way on there. And you know, I should have probably taken a little bit of my Garden Green and hit around the edges. I'm going to do that just because it's really stark. Hold on here. Just talk among yourselves. All right, I'm going to grab a sponge dauber and do that real quick. So I'm going to go back to my Garden Green. I have a sponge dauber, and I'm just going to hit around the edges, just real gently. Don't want to go too crazy, but enough to give it some kind of contrast. And then I'm just going to put it right up against the edge of the paper. Holy moly, maybe. Holy moly. Oh my goodness gracious. There. It's still crooked. All right, we're going to try to fix it. We're going to try to fix it. All right, that's as good as we're going to get it, folks. Okay, and then to finish it off, we need a little embellishment, right? So these are, I told you on Monday, these are one of the online exclusives. But unfortunately, they're not going to be available till a couple weeks from now. But I just thought with this fun little lake scene, you know, you have swallows in there, right? So we'll go ahead and put a few swallows in the scene. And it'll be perfect. Yay. So again, here's a really easy, fun fold that showcases your paper. What do you think about that? All right, you guys, that is it for me. And I am traveling down to Angola again this weekend. Sage is in a play. I know, my goodness, the girl, I'm just tired thinking about it. She is playing Aunt Martha in Arsenic and Old Lace. So Edwin and I will go down there on Saturday evening to see her. So I will see you guys back here on Monday. Thanks for stopping by and happy stamping.